Well, since it's an H.G. Wells birthday or whatever it is, and I believe he was born around this area, I would go for a science fiction type utopia. Maybe tall glass buildings, overhead cables, maybe some old-fashioned looking type cars that now are modern, motorcycles in the sky. You know, all the things that H.G. Wells forecasts in his books, basically. Well, it would be nice maybe, although it's not really a theme for Sutton, but to include something of one of his novels within the scope of it. You know, maybe resting on the foreground, maybe a time machine or something like this, just to depict, you know, that it is an H.G. Wells theme. Yep.
How would you see that time machine working, Ken?
How would it be working? Well, it wouldn't, would it? It's impossible. I think even H.G. Wells realised it's not possible to go forward in time. But the way I can see it working is that if you could sort of imagine the picture of the time machine in the foreground, and then maybe behind the time machine like a modern type field, then gradually going back further and further until you come to the utopia we're talking about, which the H.G. Wells type science fiction scene.
Aiming to be a Sutton which is full of harmony, all color, creed, people live together, and a feeling of oneness which will create a wonderful Sutton. It will also go ahead with greenery, and people with different disabilities and ability learn to appreciate and render a helping hand.
I think Sutton's quite a long way towards that, but there is still a lot to be done, because Sutton is quite good, I feel, in greenery-wise. We have got a lot of trees in Sutton, which I think we all benefit.
However, or whatever we do, our aim should be economically, we should be stronger. And if we are stronger economically, we will be much stronger in every aspect of life. Because I sincerely believe that money should be flowing to make other things go. That is my thought.
Perhaps we could have some smaller individual shops, although it's the big shops that are going and leaving gaping holes in the high street. Some of the little individual shops would be nice. People selling their own craft and that sort of thing. That would be, which we don't seem to have in Sutton, but they have in other smaller shopping centres.
And together, I think when we talk about emotional or physical strength, we should always look for our health also. We want healthy people, because in a healthy body there is always a healthy mind.
I like the idea of a sort of more of a cafe culture, with cafes spilling onto pavements. Obviously in Britain we don't have that sort of weather, but things like, for example, the library, the side of the library, as you're driving along the 232 into Sutton, it'd be lovely if there could be tables there and people could then enjoy it. Maybe more facilities like zoo, I suppose a zoo and an aquarium. You couldn't really have one of those in Sutton, could you? But something where people could be drawn, be tempted to come to Sutton because there is something of great interest. Unfortunately, we don't really have any old houses of interest. We don't have any National Trust properties, so people are not coming for those sorts of reasons. But if we can have some sort of interest for people to come, that I think might be quite helpful. And theatre, of course, would be nice. I mean, it's a shame that Sutton Theatre, the Seacombe Theatre, is folding a bit, which I think is an awful shame, because we went to it a lot when the children were small. We really enjoyed the shows, and you know, they know the music, they know the words of Oklahoma, and Carousel off by heart, simply because they went to shows at the Sutton Theatre. So that's really nice. It'd be nice if they could do something with that building. If they can't have it at a theatre, there is a space there, and presumably there are opportunities to do other things.
Have a rocket in Sutton that if people want to go up to the moon and spend the day on the moon, they can. Or if people want to, and walkways that where there's no buses. So maybe, like say from one side of the Sutton to the other, having a walkway up the top. And as for supermarkets, I don't think there should be supermarkets. I think all your groceries should be delivered by vans or cars that fly.
Oh, that's quite good. We're going to have heliports.
We're going to have heliports, yeah.
I know.
And they deliver your food.
Well, on a Saturday we have a little trolley bus which goes up and down High Street. I think it would be rather nice if they had a sort of monorail, just a little one that through the week, all week goes, because it's quite a long High Street and it is a long drag up the hill for people who aren't really quite so able. And I think it would be nice to have something like that to make the whole High Street more accessible.
What about a sci-fi approach? Could you imagine how, some H.G. Wells time machine type machines might look like that?
Well, they could do that with the monorail. Put it slightly higher, I suppose.
Well, I suppose you could have some of those kind of giant mechanical spiders or animals kind of going around and picking up the rubbish, perhaps. But I mean, I think a town centre, you tend not to think of it being very sci-fi. You tend to want to have it more red brick and old-fashioned rather than sci-fi.
Dig up some of the paving, plant something. Trees, shrubs could be planted in some of those large squares and spaces that we've now got covered in concrete and slabs. Up at the top of the High Street, for example, could be dug up and made more green. Less street furniture, more and more people. So urbanize it to a much greater extent and make it into a throbbing, pulsing community with lots of restaurants and nice shops, lots of things to do. A place you would want to go to.
There are places for some more, perhaps slightly more upmarket shops, particularly pertaining to craft and art goods.
As Jean has just reminded me, I do quite like sheds, perhaps little individual shops like sheds.
Sheds.
And I think it would work. I've said that to make you happy. I'm known as the shed lady, but I can see it working.
Can you tell us more about these sheds?
Yes, I have a shed here. It takes quite a bit to keep it tidy. A lot of the stuff is donated by people that no longer use their stuff, and then they donate it to Hello Club, which we make into something useful, and then we sell on usually at the craft fairs or
Donate to St Helier Hospital.
We donate to St Helier Hospital, St Raphael's
Diamond
Riding
Centre.
School and the Marsden Hospital. And that
Which keeps us busy and out of mischief.
And so I'd like to see, I don't know whether there's enough for a zoo, but it would be nice to have a wildlife facility of some kind. That would be really good. And I know a lot of people would like to be sort of space age, but we've already got so many big buildings. I think we need to calm it down a bit and add a bit of nature to it.
Can you see a sort of a fantasy Sutton Utopia or Utopian Sutton that could be fun, interesting?
Not really, because I think it would be quite bizarre. I mean, a bit of Bohemia. I mean, only recently David Hockney. I was listening to something by David Hockney, and he was bemoaning the death of Bohemia. People were talking to him about his life and his wild ways when he was young, and he said, "I wasn't wild, but I just lived in Bohemia." He said, which is a place that no longer exists. Or maybe we could have a Bohemian Sutton.
That
I find
sounds
it hard to
really
imagine, but I think it could happen.